Dr. Pooplove here, and today I want to talk about 6 long guns that should come to The Last of Us Factions 2, and 3 that can go fuck off and I never want to see their stupid face again. Sorry. And if you want to see more Factions 2 content, why don't you consider tactically shooting that subscribe button in the back. But let's get right into it. The first long gun that should come to The Last of Us Factions 2 is the semi-auto rifle. Wait, no, not that semi-auto rifle. Why is that called the semi-auto rifle? Naughty Dog, what are you doing? Of course, I'm talking about this semi-auto rifle. It's a versatile gun, effective at all ranges, and really rewards good aim. This gun better come to Factions 2. The next gun that should come is the variable rifle. Yes, I mean the semi-auto rifle from Part 2. Which pretty much is the variable rifle. This is what's so confusing about Naughty Dog. In Uncharted 2, their FAL was a burst firing gun. And then in Uncharted 3, they made it a semi-auto firing gun. And now in Uncharted 4, it's back to being a burst gun. I see that they're kind of doing this with the semi-auto and the variable rifle right now. And I don't like it. But anyways, what I'm talking about is this variable rifle. It rewards a fast trigger finger, good aim. It's effective at multiple ranges. And it's just all around fun to use. Although that sound is kind of annoying. Maybe they can kind of tweak that. The next gun that I want to see is the burst rifle. And no, I'm not talking about the burst toggle of the semi-auto rifle in Part 2. I'm talking about the burst rifle. And I know a lot of people think that the burst is OP, and I kind of agree, but it is really fun to use. So if Naughty Dog can bring it back with some minor tweaks to make it a little more balanced, then I would welcome this gun back. The next gun that should come to Factions 2 is the hunting rifle. And I know they've made some minor differences between the original hunting rifle and the one in Part 2, but as long as there is a scoped in only sniper weapon, I'm totally happy. It rewards really good aim, fast quick shotting, and if it can maintain the same vibe that we have in the original Factions, I would love it. Maybe just a little less reward for body shots. The next gun I want to see is the bow, and it's going to be interesting how Naughty Dog is going to handle this, because they changed the reticle from Part 1 to Part 2. And they also changed the way it fires. In Part 1, it fires pretty similarly to the other guns where you hold L2 to aim and press R2 to fire. But in Part 2, you hold L2 to aim and then you hold R2 to draw and then release to fire, which is a little bit more realistic, but I don't know how well this is going to work in a PvP environment where you have to be a little bit speedy and reactive, and so Naughty Dog really does have to make this a usable weapon for it to be in the running for a normal gun that doesn't get lost into obscurity. And the last gun that I want to see come to Factions 2 is the full auto rifle. This is a very underrated gun, but it's actually fairly fun to use, and you can be a beast with it, but it doesn't feel too strong. It's a fun gun to just throw in there every once in a while, and I definitely would welcome this back in Factions 2. Now on to the list of guns that I do not want to see again. But before we do, if you're liking this video, then why don't you hit that thumbs up? But let's get into it. The first gun I don't want to see again is a tactical gun that requires strategy and tactics. Oh wait, it doesn't really require any of that, but it's the tactical shotgun. Doesn't really reward good aim. It's effective at too long of a range. I don't know that I would consider it OP, but it's annoying. So I don't really want to see it again. We don't need more shotguns. We need less shotguns. The next gun I don't want to see again is maybe a bit controversial here because I know a lot of people do like to use this, but I'm talking about the Frontier rifle. And the reason I don't like the Frontier rifle is because it really just encourages the body shot element that comes from the hunting rifle, although it's unscoped, so it's a little bit easier to aim. And in my honest opinion, I think it's a little more powerful than the tac shotgun. All you have to do is kind of shoot, wiggle, shoot again in the body. It is annoying to deal with, and I personally just don't like it. But I believe in the leaks, they've shown Frontier rifles, and I know a lot of people like it, so sometimes Dr. Pooplove just can't get his way. And finally, the gun I don't want to see come back to Factions 2 is the scoped guns. Really, this is 3 of them actually. The scoped burst rifle, the scoped semi-auto, and the scoped full auto. And the reason for this is because these are just lazy and uncreative guns. They are just scoped versions of guns that already exist. I would welcome some new scoped weapons if there's a little bit more creativity and it's given its own kind of flair. Currently, these scoped weapons are not that effective. The burst can be fairly decent at times, and the semi as well. The full auto is complete. Yikes. But really, they can have guns that have some of these traits. I just don't want it to be called a scoped this or a scoped that. I want it to have its own character and have some real kind of testing behind it to make sure that it is a gun worth using. You rarely see anyone use these guns, and I think it's for the reason that they're not really that strong. But that's the list. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want to fight? Let's go. 1v1 me. And look out for a future video on the sidearms that I want to come or not come to Factions 2. But that's all from me. So long, Pooper Troopers.